Audio Jungle.
Man shot and injured after attempting to hit policeman with board in Spalding. A man has been hospitalized after he was shot while confronting a policeman with a piece of board in Spalding on Saturday. The man sustained a gunshot wound to his left hand during the incident, which happened about midday in the town, which borders Manchester and Clarendon. A video of the incident shows two policemen walking towards a service vehicle when a man armed with what appeared to be a piece of board approached one of them. One of the policemen then pulled his firearm, pointing towards the man. The man was seen lifting the board towards the police before a loud explosion was heard. The video also showed the man walking away from the police with his blood-soaked white shirt before he used it to wrap his injured hand and jump into a truck transporting cooking gas and cylinders. He remains in hospital under police guard.
Indicom were informed of a non-fatal shooting in Spalding in Manchester earlier today, and Indicom have attended the scene. We're aware that there's some social media CCTV or phone recording of the matter. The police report that earlier in the day they had engaged with a man in relation to a separate matter and sought to arrest him, and that particular man then assaulted one of the police officers to the face and the officer was injured. That man was unable to be arrested and escaped the scene. Subsequently, that same man returned to where the police officers were. We can see, and it's reported that that man was armed with a long length of wood, a plank of wood, and in the officer reports that man trying to strike him with the wood and caused further assault to him. The officer used his firearm, fired 2 rounds, and one of those rounds at least hit the man, but not fatally. That matter is being investigated by Indicom, and the officer obviously has provided an initial account of the matter and explained his position, and he will be asked to make a statement further and will be further interviewed. The individual who initially had the attack with the officer and then returned and is seen on video was not arrested at the time that video is shown. The Indicom would ask anybody who does have video of the matter, who was a witness to the incident, of which there seem to be many hundreds, should contact Indicom.
Raging at injustice, Movado slammed Jamaica's justice system after son's conviction overturned. Dancehall artist Movado has expressed relief and outrage following Friday's Court of Appeal decision to overturn the murder conviction of his son Dante Brooks and his co-accused Andre Hines. "There is a fire raging within me at the injustice," he said in a post on his official Instagram page on Saturday. Brooks and Hines, who were convicted in January 2021 for the 2018 murder of Lorenzo Thompson in Cassava P, St. Andrew, were freed after the appellate judge found a substantial miscarriage of justice in how the trial was conducted. The court cited issues with identification evidence, credibility of the prosecution's sole witness, and procedural errors of the trial judge. In the social media post, Movado, whose given name is David Brooks, hailed the decision while condemning the authorities involved in the prosecution of the matter. "It's taken me some time to process all that has taken place, but I am ready to speak. To God be the glory. He comes first in everything we do. I am naturally elated, relieved, and full of joy that my son Dante has been freed from the state-imposed hell he was enduring for 7 years of his young life." Dante was 18 years old at the time of the life sentence in March 2021. The entertainer has expressed anger at the legal system, questioning how the case even proceeded to trial. "But at the same time, there is a fire raging within me at the injustice, or, as the appeal judges put it, substantial miscarriage of justice that has taken place. A trial without jury decided on by one lone judge who chose not to take into account the amount of times the single witness changes his statements, admitted to lying to the police, and fabricated his account of events," the 44-year-old stated. In their ruling, Justices Marva McDonald Bishop, David Fraser, and Kissok Leng found that the trial judge, Leighton Pusey, failed to adequately assess the reliability of the sole eyewitness. The court highlighted inconsistencies in the witness's statement, his initial failure to identify the accused, and the poor lighting conditions during the alleged crime. The judges also ruled that the voice identification evidence used against Brooks and Hines did not meet legal standard and should never have been admitted. Movado indicated that he and his legal team will be pursuing legal action against those responsible for what he believes was an orchestrated effort to convict his son unfairly. "We will be pursuing full legal action against all parties involved in this cruel and injustice and will not stop fighting until real justice is served upon those who perpetrated this awful, unlawful and unwarranted act against my son and his co-accused Andre Hines, he noted. He also accused authorities of attempting to drag his name through the mud to sensationalize the case. They also tried to drag my name through the mud to help them carry on their wrongdoings and garner headlines for themselves. Well, this story and those headlines are far from over. The DJ praised his son's legal team, led by Hugh Wildman and Oswald Senior Simate, who led the case for Hines. I would like to thank Hugh Wildman, who never had a doubt that this miscarriage of justice would be overturned from the first minute he started reading the court's transcript. His leadership and bravery against a system designed to destroy the lives of innocent youth in a service to this country. Big up Oswald Senior Simate for his sharp legal mind and assiduous work in freeing my son and Andre. When Brooks and Hines walked free from Tower Street Correctional Center, they were greeted with tears of joy and embraces from family and friends. Brooks' attorney Hugh Wellman said his client was overjoyed and grateful. He is so happy, he is excited, and he is thanking us profusely, Wellman stated. Hines' other attorney, Kemar Robinson, also noted his client's elation, adding that he immediately went to see his grandmother on her birthday after being freed. Prosecutors had led evidence that Brooks and Hines were among five who entered a house, shot Thomas, and then pushed his father into another room. They were accused of attempting to sever Thomas' head before aborting the plan because the machete was too dull. They then allegedly poured gasoline on the house and the body before setting both on fire. Prosecutors relied on the eyewitness testimony of Thomas' father, who indicated that he knew his son's killers from the community and had not only seen the face of both men, but had also recognized them by their voices. However, both men had maintained their innocence, stating that they were never at the scene and had raised a defense of alibi. Voss submits proposal to increase fines and sentences for offenders on the Telecom Act to Parliament. Telecommunication Minister Darrell Voss says he has submitted to Parliament a proposal to increase the fines and custodial sentences for offenders under the Telecommunications Act. This statement comes after telecommunications company Flow and Digicel lost some cables to vandals on Tuesday. This resulted in services of thousands of customers being disrupted. The loss suffered by the company is estimated at $300 million. Mr. Voss said the proposal has been referred to the Legislation Committee of Parliament and would see the current findings being increased. He noted that it would also see some cases being tried in the Circuit Court which would require greater penalties. The minister sought to explain the proposal increase in penalties.
As a ministry and a government, we take these reports of vandalism seriously. In this regard, through the Law Reform Amendment of Penalties Bill, 2025 recommendations have been referred to the Legislation Committee of Parliament to increase the fines and custodial sentences under the Telecommunications Act for offences such as trespassing upon a telecommunications facility, meddling, interfering, or tampering with or otherwise cause harm to the facility. The current fines will now be increased, with more stringent fines being imposed on repeat offenders and even a greater opportunity to punish the perpetrator with an option to have their matters heard before the Circuit Court. Telecommunications Act, a person commits an offense if he trespasses upon any facility by any means, meddles or interferes or tampers with the facility, otherwise causing harm to the facility. On the customary conviction before a parish court, a fine not exceeding $3 million or to be imprisoned for a term not exceeding 3 years in the case of a first offense, and a fine of $5 million or imprisonment of 5 years in the case of any subsequent offense. On conviction before a circuit court, to a fine or to imprisonment for a term not exceeding 15 years. So the option definitely would be for circuit court.
Man said to be of unsound mind stabbed to death in St. Andrew. The St. Andrew South police are investigating the fatal stabbing of a 64-year-old man along Sherlock Crescent in the parish on Friday night. The deceased has been identified as Delton Taxter, an unemployed resident who lived on Sherlock Crescent. According to police reports, Taxter, who is believed to be of unsound mind, was stabbed during a dispute with another man around 10:30 p.m. He was rushed to the Kingston Public Hospital where he was pronounced dead. The police have confirmed that a 50-year-old man is a suspect in Taxter's killing. The Hunts Bay Criminal Investigation Branch is investigating the case. Remember to subscribe, like, share, and click the notification bell for daily updates.